and then take it out. Now as you can see, well, you might have a situation where you see this top part of the wire is kind of soldered on like that. So what you want to do in that case, because it's pointing out, we want it to be down. And it should not have soldered out, but that's the way that the strand, it soaked up the solder in the position that it was. So what we want to do is we want to get a hold of it, the wire, and we want to kind of pull in the direction we want it while we heat up the solder on it, and it'll go in the other direction. So you just hitting it. Well, yeah. So let me see if I get my wire strippers at the tip. You might have a blunt end like me, and which you might be able to pinch things down, but make sure you got a blunt tip, or else you'll wind up cutting it, and you don't want to cut it. Now what I want to do is I want to pinch that from where it's all pushed out. I want to pull it close to this actual eye right there. So I'm going to get a hold of it just like this. Don't have to worry about trying to solder it back in place. As you can see, it pinched that part right down there to the copper piece. Great. We should be able to get that cap on without no problem. So where is our cap? It's right here. Now, the good thing about this is that since this part is not done, we could just push the cap on. You want to push the wire through the top of the cap and try to get it poked outside the side slot, and that's how you want it to be, so that when you pull it through and you get up to the top. Okay, just keep pulling it. Now when you get up here, it's going to be a little bit more fiddling around, but you could do it. Now the hook is going to be in one direction, and it's the same direction as the hole like I'm showing now. Let me take this off a little bit. Okay, so the hook is pointing towards the front, and that's pointing towards the front, so that's the right way it should be. Now all we have to do is get it in the cap. Okay, and there we go. We good. You see? Now if you try to pull it, it has a bit of resistance. Of course, if you pull it hard, you'll pull it back off. So let's just go ahead and push it in there. And once you have it and you're actually pushing it in and out, and if it's not popping right off, you got it. It's good. Okay, and that's how we do the other side. Now once you have the other side done, go ahead and start on this side. But what you want to immediately do, since this side is on, okay, what you want to immediately do is get your other side, which is going to be the other gold one, and you're going to take off the cap right now. You're going to, now since this is the side we're going to be doing in this for this cap, you're going to take the wire, you're going to stick it through the slider side and let it come out the top. Okay, so you're doing that now so you don't forget when you start soldering this on. And now you're just going to go ahead and you're going to do this side the same way we did the other side, exact same way. Okay, we already have it twisted. We just gonna push it in from the hook side. It's pointed up. We're gonna push the wire in through the top, we gonna pull up the wire, some space, leave some space. We gonna twist our wire through the middle part, around and around. Okay, until it's all in there. We don't want to see no frays, which it looks like it's really trying to do. Okay, I'm just using one of my tools to make sure everything bends down. Use your fingers to make sure all of the frays are pushed towards the middle, so everything is now nice and neat. Okay, you can even use your little wire strippers, and like I said, my tip is blunt, so that allows me to be able to do this. You could press it down some more. Now if your tip is sharp, do not do this, because all that's going to do is cut it. As you can see, it's now neat. What I think I'm going to do with this one is bend it down here, and then I'm going to turn this to the back. So as you can see, instead of keeping it up like we did the last one, and it's just an experiment because I know that insulation is there, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it to the back where you can see the other wires, because when you start heating it up, or actually here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we want it bent down, but we kind of want it out the way, so I'm gonna move the insulation off to the side, right, a little bit. That way it shouldn't interfere all that much. So you see how we have it set up, shouldn't interfere all that much. Now let's get ready to solder it. Okay, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to this side. And what I'm going to do next time is I'm just going to cut it down a little bit more so that the insulation isn't right there. But you don't want to cut it too much. Remember, you want it to be right like there at the middle. So this could possibly be fine just like it is. We're going to apply the heat. We're actually going to tin our soldering iron. Because see, it oxidizes as you're waiting. So that's why you tin it again. Clean it a little bit so it's silvery again. Just gonna apply some heat and just get it soldered. Feeding it on. There we go. That should be good enough. Stabbing my soldering iron into the Brillo. Put it in this holder. That should be cool. Let's inspect it. That one works out a lot better. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, as you can see, it works out a lot better because the solder end is now pointed better. So we want to solder it so that the cord is kind of like pointed down a little bit. That way we ain't got to worry about trying to get it back down in position. So we learned something on this one. So now we're bringing our cap back up. And we're bringing our cap back up. You want to get it into position now. Now remember, the part where the cord come in is going to be that part. You're squeezing it down in there. And there we go. Okay, and so now we have a complete set of test hookup cords with one on each side. Okay, so as you can see, it's working just the way it should for that side, and going to the other side is working just the way it should for that side. So we have a complete set of test hookup cords. I'm Ebony Geek, and I hope that the information provided has been helpful to you. Please remember to subscribe. Happy building and happy coding.